Hi, my name is Mary Kate Gaddis, and this is my mind map. After listening to Lecture 2, a summary of our reading knowledge base, the 20th and 21st century, I saw that reading instruction has evolved from the McGuffey Reader to the reading instruction we know today. Each decade brought more researches and changes to reading. We continue to take previously used strategies, critique, and change them to create the most effective reading strategies for our students. After listening to the lecture, I saw that teaching literacy is like a puzzle. We have to put all the pieces together in order to have the most effective instruction take place for our students. In the top left corner of my mind map, I have our reading research through the years. The early 1900s were a time of great research and ideas. Judd and Gray believed in silent reading, while Parker believed expression helped thought in oral reading. The 1920s brought about Thorndike's teacher workbook and reading as thinking ideas. In the 1930s and 40s, basal readers came about, as well as a teacher's guide and student workbooks. At this time, Louise Rosenblatt created her early reader response theory, and the look and say method was introduced through books such as Dick and Jane Readers. The 1950s were a turning point, with reading and writing occurring at the same time. The ABCs and sounds were taught, and then letter combinations were brought into play. In the 60s, we began to see developmental reading programs and how they progressed rapidly. Instructional strategies such as the SQ3R and the DRA were introduced when teaching literacy. The 70s brought about the whole language theory, which used a wide variety of authentic literature in the context of meaningful and cooperative experiences. Throughout the 1980s, the debate between phonics versus whole language continued, with both sides argued. The 1990s introduced the balance approach to reading instruction, using both phonics and whole language when teaching literacy. And the Reading Excellence Program was created. The 2000s brought the National Reading Panel, which was asked to assess the status of research-based knowledge about reading, including the effectiveness of various approaches to reading, to teaching children to read. On my mind map, I linked the National Reading Panel to the approaches in the bottom left-hand corner of the map that they looked at. The panel looked at phonemic awareness, phonics instruction, reading fluency, and vocabulary. The panel also discussed the importance of professional development for teachers. There are many literacy organizations which aim to assist in teachers' professional development. The Literacy Research Association is one of these organizations. As stated in their mission statement, LRA is dedicated to disseminating such research broadly as to promote generative theories, informed practices, and sound policies. Central to its mission, LRA mentors and supports future generations of literacy scholars. The National Reading Panel showed us that professional development is extremely important in teaching kids to read. The literacy organizations for my mind map are on the bottom right-hand corner. After listening and thinking about the lecture, I saw all of the strategies used to teach literacy today have evolved over time. In the upper right-hand corner of my mind map, I placed the strategies that were introduced throughout the 20th and 21st century. Each strategy plays a key role in teaching literacy. When we put all of the pieces to the puzzle together, we are able to teach the most effective strategies for literacy.